time for us to have a conversation about Hoeflation.
Literally them showing us a birthing photo or video, sorry.
Yeah, in 4th grade.
That terrified me, and I was like, actually, I don't think I'm gonna have sex for a long time. I think I'm good.
Go ahead.
And like speaking of Hoeflation, I mean, we're always trending apparently, right? Because
Who's we?
Hoes. Because without us hoes, you wouldn't have like that many views to be watching, right? You have hoes come on the podcast to talk about our...
I'm not knocking hoes.
I don't want to be a hoe.
I'm saying,
I don't want to be a hoe.
I'm saying you have hoes, and when I say you have hoes coming onto the podcast, you know you're a hoe if
Do you
you're
mean
a
a
hoe.
literal hoe or like more of the colloquial?
That's Brian's dream.
You know what I mean?
You have hoes, Brian.
So you sit here and you want to bash sex workers, but you know we come
When
on
did
here.
I
we
Bash
When did I
anybody.
anybody.
I don't think
There was-
anybody
there
has
was
bashed.
very
He's
little
bringing you
bashing.
on here and giving you a platform to speak. So I think
Yeah.
that if he was going to be bashing you, he wouldn't even allow
But
anybody
making
on.
us
The hero
making
of
us
hoes, if
seem-
you will.
Wait, what do you mean making what?
making us seem like
I'm not making anybody seem
Hoeflation,
any
you know,
sort of
like
No, I'm just talking
we're
about a video.
Trending,
Oh,
we're a trending topic, so it's relevant to speak on
Because it's interesting.
Wait, what?
It's
Yeah.
fascinating. I am
That's what I'm
fascinated by hoes. I'll say it.
Yes, they are fascinating. They are fascinating indeed. As a matter of fact, this entire episode of the Whatever podcast featuring Candace Owens was, in fact, fascinating because a lot of things came out that, quite frankly, a lot of people are kind of bewildered by. Like, for example, I don't know, you have to accept me for who I am, even though I'm a sex worker, all that type of stuff. There are all kinds of takes were thrown out there. You even have a girl who wears a cross with guns around her neck, but yet she's also what was it? Not even raised Christian or not even a Christian and views it more as a secular symbol. All kinds of crazy stuff came from this podcast. But of course, the topic of this episode is called What is Hoeflation? Now, guys, really quick. There's going to be a lot of videos coming out for the remainder of this week that's going to be on this topic and multiple other topics. Seeing how it is, I made 3 videos last week about men and why it is that men should probably consider the red pill as far as at least learning how to do certain things, learning game, learning certain skills, but should also at the same time be able to separate the good from the bad. So, with that right there being said, though, we need to talk about the other side of the coin. And, of course, it's going to prompt a lot more videos because, obviously, this whole attitude of you have to accept me for who I am, yet at the same time, you're also demanding that men make a lot more money than you're accustomed to. Yeah, a lot of crap is going on here. And also something else too, a special video will also be included in this little series, and it will be about the school system itself because that was brought up as well. With that right there being said, let us go ahead and dive into this topic. There is one thing I do need to get out of the way very, very quickly, very, very briefly. No updates, nothing like that there. It's the topic of Candace Owens. Now, guys, I've been hard on Candace recently in years, and I've even made a couple of videos. But I got to be honest with you, that does not mean the woman is not smart. It does not mean that the woman does not know what she's talking about. Some people will automatically call her the GOAT because of what she did on this podcast. But at the same time, though, she is still very, very much a smart lady. And she's kind of won me back in a lot of ways here recently. I'm not going to talk about any of the controversies or anything she's been accused of or anything she's accused others of. We're just going to stick to this podcast and this exact episode itself and exactly what the hell came out. So what is Hoeflation? Well, Hoeflation, for the most part, is essentially, let's just say it's ladies who, for whatever reason, are looking at a certain income bracket that men have, and they simply go for that. And, of course, I'm about to show you this little chart here to kind of give you a bit of an idea, which, by the way, it's not really a chart. It's just an episode, a clip from Value Entertainment that Adam had posted, and I want to go ahead and roll that for you guys now, roughly 2 minutes. Make sure you guys stick around. I'm pretty sure by the end of it, you'll get exactly what's going on. I'm going to expand on the other side, so let's go ahead and do that.
You can even break down right here. But here's how hypergamy sort of works in the dating marketplace, right? She's going to put some glasses on. So let's define the adult top men and the top women. So would it be fair to say that the top men are the richest, most successful men for the most part? Can we say that?
Yeah.
And that the top women are the most beautiful women in the world. Can we say that?
Okay.
Okay, so the basic premise is that men are typically defined by their status, their income, their network, everything that comes with that, or women are defined by their beauty, not just outer beauty, but also inner beauty. I like to highlight that, where it's like we all know models in South Beach and all around the world that are gorgeous, and you talk to them, you're like, ugh, she disgusts me.
Yeah.
And then there's also women who are beautiful, but then they have so much inner beauty that you're like, all right, there's so much going on with this girl that, like, is just so more than meets the eye. But
So as you guys saw right there, you've got a chart that basically shows that only the top 10% of men are getting all the women. Now, I want to go ahead and make this part abundantly clear because we've heard a lot of men talk about exactly what it is that they can get and what it is that they can't get. And I want to go ahead and say this right now. I'm going to give you a specific example. Let's say you have an extremely high-powered woman, a woman who makes about $100,000 a year, and maybe you make $80,000 a year, maybe you make a little bit less, and of course, at some point in time, that girl after a while begins to get tired of you, or maybe that girl may think she does not need you. Of course, some people oftentimes love to say that some women need men, but some men need women, or men need women more than men, when in reality, we're starting to find out that it's actually the exact opposite. Women operate on a biological time clock where men can start a family at any age. Of course, if you want to draw back to old Stefan Molyneux videos, go right ahead and do so. Many of these people have been correct on certain things, and they've also been incorrect on other things as well. However, the thing is this right here. Men can, in fact, still start a family at any age, so it's always a good idea for a man to constantly keep himself available. I mean, not available, but always keep himself, how do I say this? Always keep himself striving. Women, of course, I think should too, as well, as we'll talk about a little bit more in this video. But you're probably thinking to yourself, well, wow, these girls really and truly are costing a lot of money, as you will see a little bit more here in a second. This is where hoeflation kind of comes from. The hoes, quite frankly, are becoming more and more expensive. I'm not saying all women are hoes. That's not what I'm saying, okay? So if you ladies, if you watch the channel, don't think I'm talking about you. I'm talking about those who are on social media, the ones that you see in these videos, the quote-unquote 304s, the girls who are on OnlyFans, the sex workers, all that type of stuff there. I'm not talking about the basic lady who goes to work and works two jobs at a time, or has a good job, or is a nurse who's married, happily married, got 2 kids. Whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the girls who are constantly using social media in some way. And by the way, social media does have a very, very big time factor. Feminism is also a factor in this as well. But I actually think the bigger factor is overall materialism, which I'll talk about throughout all of the videos momentarily in each one. But just know right now that the current society that we have, which is full of materialism and is full of social media, I call it whoring yourself on the internet, because you're constantly looking for clicks, you're constantly looking for some form of attention, and I think that those types of girls right there are the ones that you may want to leave alone. You're probably thinking to yourself, it's very hard for men to actually find a girl who's not on social media, and you would be 100% correct. But let me say this really quick, because I actually do agree with some of the I'm not a big fan of Zherka or Sneeko or those guys, but I do agree with them in one sense on this right here. You can walk into say like a food line or a grocery store and see a girl working behind the counter, working the register. Beautiful girl, whatnot. She's 22, 23 years old. Maybe she's in college. You know, she could be a diamond in the rough. I do believe that you can find someone like that, being someone who's like 32 or 33 years old, ask the girl out, go out with her, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're in a relationship. She happens to be 10 years younger than you are. I think that right there can actually work out because she's mostly a diamond in the rough. You've actually got her much, much younger. And I'm not saying that men should just go out and start dating 19-year-olds or anything. I think there's definitely a problem with that too, which I'll talk more about towards the end of the video. The thing is this right here. You can find a diamond in the rough, whereas you may find some girl who may be 28, 29 years old who's already well established, but the problem is that she may have already had some type of trauma in her life from a previous marriage or a previous relationship that might make her somewhat touch on briefly in this video. Now, here's the thing about Hoeflation. The girls, it seems to me, may be demanding too much. You go out there and you look at channels like, say, It's Complicated. Darius M is another one. You see a lot of Manosphere channels. And, of course, you have those black pill channels that like to make fun of these ladies, which, by the way, in some cases is, quite frankly, warranted. But as I've said before, stay the hell away from the black pill and stay the hell away from the blue pill. The blue pill is designed to make you effeminate. The black pill is designed to make you bitter and make you feel like you're alone and you've got nothing. But then again, though, too, something else, too. Stay very, very much away from those guys who who run their mouth, but yet they've never actually been in the field. There are a lot of those channels out there who actually exist. I've been inside the bars and whatnot. I've had some successes. I've also had some failures. Okay, you guys can take my advice if you want to. I just ask you guys to hear me out. That's all I care for. So here's the thing. In these types of situations where you've got this type of Hoeflation, you've got these ladies who are demanding a lot more. I think a lot of that is influenced by social media. As you guys will see here in this clip that Michael Sartan did with this group of girls, a little round table. Make sure you guys pay very close attention as he explains to these ladies exactly how much money men do in fact make.
40% of men are over 6 feet tall, but the average American male is 5'8". That doesn't make any sense. It's 5'10". 5'9".
5'9", 5'9",
Nice.
sorry, yeah. So 5'9" is the average North American male. Okay,
Okay.
got it. Cool. So
Tom Cruise, 5'7".
cool. So we're gonna go now. The other thing is, I'm just curious. What do you think the average guy makes in the United States? Like household income for one person, single male. What do you think?
Average, maybe probably like 80K.
Wow. What do you think?
Average
400,000.
man. Yeah, we're talking about annual, right?
Yeah.
200,000.
Average man make 200,000. What do you think?
I don't know.
Girl.
I don't know.
I don't know. Realistically, with everything that just went on in the world, I don't know, maybe like 70,000. I know that sounds crazy, but average male, 70,000
Average man.
Okay.
before tax.
Wow, this whole time I was thinking like 60.
Interesting. Yeah, it's $37,000 a year.
Oh,
Oh, interesting. So 1% of men are over 6'3". The average, the median take-home pay is $37,000. For a household, it's $69,000 for a household. Yeah.
Every girl on that panel thought that men made above $75,000 a year. Now, I want to say this right now. I live in a state where, and I'm not going to give you guys my salary, but just know that I am right there in the average. I say I would right there in the ball game, like right there in the average ball game, okay? Right there what he was talking about. And of course, I'm a little bit older. I may not look older, I may not feel older, even though there are some mornings I wake up, I quite frankly feel my age. I'm not married. I've been in a lot of relationships, though. Some of them were actually good experiences. Some of them were bad experiences. I don't hide that about me, okay? Because we're all human. We're all online for a reason. We're all trying to get a message out there. And I think if people took that approach to say, hey, look, we're all human, I think things would be a lot better rather than dealing with this whole cancel culture and holding people to extremely ridiculous standards. Somebody's going to accuse me of doing the exact same thing here. No. I just call up the BS and the lies. The thing is this right here. A lot of men, most men, are not making the amount of money these ladies think that they are. Now, it is possible, seeing how these girls were all in Las Vegas, it's possible that maybe the median salary, which I did not look into, but we'll be definitely looking into in other videos, the median salary may be higher, so they may automatically assume that a person is making more money. Let me give you an example of what I mean. The state of New York, $37,000 in my home state is about the equivalent of about $55,000 in that state. The cost of living is much, much higher. You think, okay, 55 is definitely higher than 37 or 38, but here's the thing. That 55 is not going to go as far in that area. Same thing with $75,000 a year, say in like a city like, say, Las Vegas, Nevada. Or what if you make $85,000 a year in a city like, say, Miami, and you're in Miami Beach all the time? If you've ever been there, then you guys know exactly how expensive it can be. It, quite frankly, can be a pain in the ass to keep up a certain lifestyle, which, by the way, I have always said with everything where it comes to the topic of gaming, it comes to the topic of bars, clubs, or anything like that, moderation. Very, very minimal times. If you constantly stay in and out of those places, next thing you know, you're going to find yourself at risk for more drama, more BS, possibility of getting in trouble with law enforcement, possibility of upsetting the opposite sex to the point to where they actually become vindictive and actually try to put you away. And of course, the social media, by the way, also gives men this certain view that, hey, look, it's very, very possible that in fact that right there may be going on, that women are in fact very vindictive, when in reality, if you actually go to a local store, or you go to a local place, chances are you may run into a girl who, quite frankly, is not like that at all. It's a very, very dangerous lifestyle to live, meaning you're in the bars every week. Now, a lot of people have, I think I've done lots of videos on the Fresh and Fit boys, and a lot of people have criticized them because they bring on quote-unquote 304s. Now, the Whatever podcast, I think, is a better way of doing things, because the Whatever podcast, you've got a sort of a split. You've got one or two girls, maybe one or two guys. You bring on a few of these OnlyFans girls, but then you've got a couple more that kind of buffer in the middle who are not like that at all to kind of counter the things that are being said. And we'll talk more about that a little bit later on in the other videos. The thing is this right here. A lot of these pictures don't give realistic views of women. They don't give exactly realistic pictures. I know a lot of beautiful ladies who are not on social media all the time, who simply go to work, do their job, go home, take care of themselves. And this kind of goes back to the whole diamond in the rough thing. You can walk inside of a grocery store. You can walk inside of a place. I do agree with Sneeko and Tate and those boys when they say you can find a diamond in the rough who's not on social media, who just simply minds her own business and goes for it. It looks like it's fewer and far between, but you'd be surprised if you actually get out there, you would find out that a lot of these girls do in fact exist. I mean, there's even some that are very, very successful who just did not get married, or maybe they were very, very particular in what they wanted to take. Not all ladies who were doing exactly what I just said are bad ladies. I think a lot of times, I think social media gives an extremely bad perception, but then again, at the same time, when you're taking your clothes off for money on OnlyFans online, and some of those girls aren't making it, a lot of those girls, as I've shown before, are not making any money at all, this right here begins to become a problem, which by the way, brings us back to Hoeflation. As you guys saw earlier, you've got a lot of these ladies who are basically saying that they think men make a lot more money than they've been told. Now, will this actually help? Will these ladies suddenly feel bad for men and start seeing them? I don't think so. I don't think that's the case. I think it gives them a better understanding, but then again, though, at the same time, while having a better understanding does not mean that they will actually go through with seeing somebody who makes a lot less money than they do. The average man is roughly 5'10" in this country. I know that I'm 5'11", and of course, that may make me average or whatever, but the average man in this country does not make the kind of money that these women are claiming that they need to get by. Like I said, it could also be area specific. But then you get this here.
That's theoretically speaking, yes, there are more women, and like, but can they get those women?
Exactly.
Right?
And it's just about, I think it's also, like you said, about where you are and where your mindset is at. If you're thinking that your women are all about the money, then you're going for women that are all about the money, because there's women that don't care about your money and care about like your personality, how you treat them, if you're treating them respectfully, if you're like putting in the work to actually make money, because it's not like we're going to be like high value women are not going to be dating a guy that's just sitting around in the house doing nothing. Like, you also have to be having goals and going towards something and showing the person that you have goals and you're going towards something, so that you can attract the same kind of people that are interested in you, not just for your money, but also because you're a very intellectual dude, you're a very driven guy, and you're and that person feels safe to spend the rest of their life with you. Because if you're just trying to like get a woman to fuck, then to have sexual relationship
to
with,
throw pies.
yeah.
There's some guys out here.
Then there's many women that can.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Let me say this really quick to answer this girl's point. I'm not saying what she was saying is true. I'm not saying what she was saying was not true. However, let me give you a perception that I have had. If you are a man and you want to get married and you want to have kids, which by the way, I'm all for. As a matter of fact, I think every man, every day, regardless of their age, should be trying to do this. Is another reason why I don't believe in vasectomies. I think you should try to, at every chance you get, all the way to your dying day, don't let them neuter you. Here's the thing I need, and this is the thing I want to go ahead and say. This is true, the stability is definitely there. However, I think that money is more important when it comes to actually holding down a marriage. Now, bear with me really quick, because I can already hear somebody in the comment section saying, well, what about all these girls who try to take money from men? That's why I've always said, you should get this lady to sign a prenup. If she's not willing to sign a prenup, to say that, look, I'm going to come in this relationship with this right here, and you get in this relationship, this right here. If the relationship ends, you leave with your stuff, I'll leave with my stuff. Okay, we get more and more to the weeds. It obviously becomes more and more complicated. But if she's not willing to sign that dotted line, if she's not willing to look you dead in the eye and give you everything, give you that exact take saying, look, if the shit don't work out, then I'll take my stuff, you take your stuff, this way it is. If she's not willing to do that, chances are it's very, very likely, and I understand why men may be paranoid about this, she may not be the one for you if that's how you really and truly feel. My personal opinions could change over time. Of course, when you get older, you start thinking about things a little bit differently. You never know. But the last thing I would want to do is build an empire or make an empire much, much larger after I got married to someone, and then all of a sudden she does something behind my back, or even if I did something screwed up somewhere, my empire is completely gone, even though said person did not have anything to do with building it. There are some things that the girl said in that little clip that I actually agree with. There's also a lot of hesitation still on the man's side to get involved. Also, to go on top of that, we don't fully trust that. Yes, like I said before, money, and I've said this right on several occasions, and we'll continue to say this, you got to have the money to be able to pay the bills. You got to have some form of stability. Ladies are not going to want to be with a guy who's not stable. They may not want to be with a guy who's rich right away, or may not want to settle down with a guy who's rich right away, even though social media gives us this perception that they do, which oftentimes turns out to be true, especially if you watch all those videos of the gold diggers, which some of those videos could be pranks, and then again, some of those videos may not be pranks. I'm not going to call which one is which at all. But the fact of the matter is that if you're going to get involved with somebody, you are going to need some form of stability. I would say that probably most women are looking for that, but then you turn right back around and you look at the hypergamy chart, which, by the way, is showing somewhat of a different picture. And don't worry, we'll come back to that chart in another video because the Whatever podcast also did one as well. And then next thing you know, you wonder why something like Hoeflation is so real. Leads me to my last point. Now, guys, you remember the clip that I opened up with was right around 45 seconds long. It was Candace Owens. She was having a conversation on the Whatever podcast. However, there is an additional 2 minutes and 45 seconds that I'm about to play for you guys right now. I'm going to come back on the other end and give you guys my final thoughts on this because Candace, I think, in a lot of ways hit this nail right on the head. Make sure you guys pay attention all the way through.
And you have to work harder to get a woman that doesn't have any self-respect or any value. And I just thought it was a really interesting video. It was obviously funny, but he was saying something. And we live in Hoeflation now, where everybody in their own capacity is selling their bodies. And unfortunately, these are the options that men have. Now, I'm not saying it's stunning to me that women talk about what men need to be and what men need to be, but I think just kind of the complete disintegration of when I look at what my grandmother looked like in pictures. She passed in 2013, and just how classy and how beautiful and how much I wanted to be like her. And now I look at women today, and I just think, man, I feel bad for guys that that the pool is getting smaller, but also it's really positive for women that are conservative and who it means that you're part of maybe a smaller pool of individuals. I see it a lot more in the South, and that men should aspire to pursue those women, absolutely, to raise their families and to raise their kids.
Do you co-sign on the Hoeflation theory?
I believe, the women today are very low value, and so it's funny because the simulation is like men ain't shit is kind of the thing everybody's saying. Don't need a man, and it's funny that someone brought up Beyonce because she's living the exact opposite of what she's singing. She's just making money because she knows how to make money in a Hoeflationary environment. Smart woman. She's like, I'm just going to pretend to be a hoe, but then actually privately I'm going to be like super.
Hold on. You wanted to come in, then you please, if you can, try to keep it brief because I need to get to chat.
I was just going to say that my version of sex education, my sex education was literally them showing us a birthing photo or video. Sorry.
Yeah, in 4th grade.
That terrified me, and I was like, actually, I don't think I'm going to have sex for a long time. I think I'm good.
Go ahead.
And like speaking of Hoeflation, I mean, we're always trending apparently, right? Because
who's we?
Hoes. Mm-hmm. Because without us hoes, you wouldn't have like that many views to be watching, right? You have hoes come on the podcast to talk about our.
I'm not knocking hoes.
I don't want to be a hoe.
I don't want to be a hoe. I'm saying you have hoes, and when I say you have hoes coming onto the podcast, you know you're a hoe.
Do you mean a literal hoe or like more of the colloquial?
That's Brian's dream.
You know what I mean?
You have hoes, Brian.
So you sit here and you want to bash sex workers, but we come on here.
Bash anybody. I don't think anybody has bashed.
He's bringing you on here and giving you a platform to speak. So I think that if he was going to be bashing you, he wouldn't even allow anybody on.
The hero of hoes, if you will.
Wait, what do you mean making what?
Making a seem like
I'm not making anybody seem any sort of like.
No, I'm just talking about a video.
We're a trending topic, so it's relevant to speak on
because it's interesting.
Wait, what?
It's fascinating. I am fascinated by hoes.
Paul, she said everything that you said this entire video. You could have said it earlier, and this video could have been a lot shorter. Let me go ahead and kind of expand on this. I think a lot of this is the perception that you're getting on social media. I do agree with Myron and Fresh when they talk about the fact that the phone, quite frankly, can give a woman so many more options. I have said this right to multiple friends of mine. I've said this to multiple people that I know, especially younger people, especially when I was at the university and every man was younger than me, every girl was younger than me. I had a lot more success with these ladies, at least as far as conversation, trust building, this, that, and the other, by simply going out and actually getting involved and actually having a conversation. A lot of these young dudes are not doing that. They're staying on their phone because, quite frankly, they don't want to be men. This right here is going to lead to a situation that I've talked about on multiple occasions where a lot of men who are older, between the ages of, say, 31 to, say, maybe 50, are going to be with women proportionately a lot younger than them. For example, I could get married at 42 years old, and my wife probably be like 32 or 33, maybe even 34, and I might have even been able to start a family, even with her late, because I probably met her at like 37 or 38 years old when she was 26. That type of thing does happen. A lot of ladies out there putting their lives together. So Hoeflation, while it is real, and of course it's very, very big, I think for the most part it's primarily an online phenomenon. However, Candace is 100% correct, though. You have a lot more men out there who are being forced to kind of look at the overall situation with these ladies and say to themselves, you know what, you're on OnlyFans, you got a past of cheating, you basically put your face out, you put your thoughts out there constantly. After a while, it does in fact become a problem. A lot of times when you go ahead and put that stuff out there, people automatically get turned off. And like I said about the whole sex worker thing, and I've said this on multiple occasions, women's body count does in fact matter. Now I know I can hear somebody say, well, what about these prostitutes who are getting paid to screw? If there's no incentive to screw, if there's no incentive to, how do I say this? If she's getting paid to screw, her only incentive to screw was pay. That means your marriage just may become something transactional. And not only does it become transactional, but you're also going to be thinking about every Tom, Dick, Harry, Jawan, DeMarcus, David, Tyrone, or whatever who's been blowing her back out the entire time. With strippers, it's a little bit different. And here's why it is. Most strippers, their action is transactional in the sense that, quite frankly, you're paying them to see them with the clothes off. However, it's still degrading, it's still demeaning. Now, in the case of models, on the other hand, or lingerie models, if you're, and this right here is where it really gets murky. A lot of men would love to look you dead in the eye and say, I would, in fact, go out of my way to date a Victoria's Secret model or a bikini model. Okay, cool. But your girl still got pictures of her ass online. There was one girl in that particular episode, and you'll probably hear me come back to her a lot. It's the blonde with the tattoo right there on her neck. She was the only one of the group that was opposite. I'm talking about to the right of the girl in the blue dress, who seemed to me out of the entire group to have any form of common sense. Not the girl in the blue dress, the souped up MILF there who was also a sex worker. Who, by the way, ended up being the exact same sex worker that the New York Post did a video, did an article a while back saying that she saves marriages. Don't worry, we will get to that this week. The girl with the tattoo was the only one who seemed to have any form of sense out of the entire group, who knew that what she was doing was obviously a problem, and of course she said that she did not date very often. Like I said, once again, we're over here taking her at face value. You guys can believe whatever you want to in the comment section. I will not tell you guys any other. You guys know me by now. I put something out there. If you disagree with it, you disagree with it. But as I said before, the Hoeflation, this is what this is. It's a lot of girls who are low value who think that their value is absolutely inflated, who think, well, it's a lot of girls out there of low value who believe that they are much, much higher in value when in reality they're actually not higher in value. They're actually lower in value. So here's what I suggest men do. Find the girl that I mentioned earlier. Go find the girl that's not spending all her time on social media. Go out there and find the girl who's not trying to put pictures of her ass on social media. I covered just now strippers and why it is that I think that strippers is probably a problem because you got your girlfriend is out there taking her clothes off every night, and while she may bring in some money, she's sweating on top of other guys. I mean, they do lap dances, all kinds of things, yet it's a problem. It screws with people. The mere fact that the girl was a sex worker and that she slept with guys for a living, that right there is a big time turn off because every time you're with her, you're going to automatically think about all those other dudes. The girl who's the lingerie model or whatnot, if she has maybe quit that type of crap, then I could see a case where a man may go for that. But then again, at the same time, remember, her photos are all over the place. They are all online. Okay, I just figured I'd just go ahead and throw that out there. With that right there being said, guys, I will be leaving that in the description box. Okay, but one last point on Hoeflation. As I said before, what's happened here is that the value of these ladies, which by the way is very, very low, has been completely inflated. It's almost like what you're seeing now in the United States with rampant inflation. Okay, think about it really quick. The inflation that we have right now, the price of gas was what, $1.40, $1.50 in 2020. Now it's like $5 a gallon. It's not worth $5 a gallon. Basically what I'm saying to you guys is that this Hoeflation thing is in fact real, and that the online girl is not worth the time that she believes that she is. Now, if you want to change this, here's my suggestion. Don't give them any attention. These chicks obviously need attention. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, that won't change their behavior. Well, you never know. You never know. Don't give them the attention. Just don't give these overpriced hoes the attention. The girls who, by the way, were opposite the girl who were to the girls with the tattoo on her neck's throat, none of them girls right there were worth the extra time. Now, the girl to her immediate left, and you'll see it. She seemed like she had a bit of a brain and had a bit of a conscience. But you saw the girl in the orange. Yeah, if you watch it, you used to go through it. This girl's lost. The MILF is lost. The girl, the other one on the one who says Made in Hell, that one right there is lost as well. The two girls who are beside Candace, they seem more like wifey material. And of course, the two girls in between seem like they were really and truly just in between. I advise you guys go watch it, but don't worry, we will be coming back to this topic a lot this week. With that right there being said, guys, Make sure you guys hit that like button. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. Please leave a comment in the comment section. I would love to get you guys' thoughts on this, and I shall see you guys later.